The Cup Series heads to Road America for the first time since 1956, and Chase Elliott wins his second road course race of the 2021 season and picks up Hendrick's 10th victory here of the 2021 season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. I just got done watching the 2021 Jockey Made in America 250 from Road America, and I have to say the race overall was a very, very solid race from Road America. We're going to go ahead and talk about it today. So before the green flag basically dropped in this race, quite a few drivers would have to go to the rear of the field. Ryan Preece would have to go to the field due to damage during practice. Kyle Busch would have to go to the rear. He was really, really fast in practice. He'd have to go to the rear. Kyle Tilley and Quinn Houff would also have to go to the rear, and also Brad Keselowski would all have to go to the rear on the start. We go and we're racing here on lap number. Also, a couple other drivers have to go to the rear as well. Bubba Wallace would have to go to the rear due to transmission issues, among other things, where they would all have to go to the rear. We go racing on lap 1 with Kyle Larson on the inside and William Byron on the inside and Kyle Larson on the outside. William Byron was actually able to take advantage and was able to get the race lead. AJ Allmendinger, meanwhile, who was running third at a time, eventually got up second, but running third at a time, he's radioed to the pit crew basically that he was starting to have some issues with his cooling. Again, with how hot it was in degrees outside of being 9 degrees in Road America today. Heat was going to be a major, major issue, and you're going to either have to have one of those cool vests or you're going to have that hose to make sure you were clear, and he started having issues up to that point. And then also during that time, Daniel Suarez, who basically was having a very, very solid start today, he got pushed off to the track due to Martrich Jr. kind of pushed him off the track, and unfortunately because of that, he had transmission issues, and he would bring out the first cautious race, which is really, really unfortunate because he was having a very strong start to the race. I thought he was going to have a very strong run, and because of that, it unfortunately took him out of contention in this race. We go back racing at lap number 5 with William Byron being on the inside and Kyle Larson on the outside. We go back racing for a little bit. Kyle Larson was about to take the race lead, but he overdrove the corner, used his tires up, and went off the track, was able to continue on, and William Byron was able to keep the race lead. And then meanwhile, during the commercial break, Ryan Preece, who was, I believe, inside the top 25 at the time, Ryan Preece started having some engine issues. He would have to go to the garage. And then a few laps later, Ty Dillon would spin going into the kink area where basically those S's are down there. And we then also at that point would see Kyle Tilley would unfortunately also go into the gravel track, and this would bring out the caution in this race. And a lot of drivers decided to come down pit road basically for the advantage, and they thought the caution come out, and we go back racing at stage 1. Drivers like Eric Almirola, Anthony Alfredo, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Matty D, and Michael McDowell, even Austin Cinder, all decided to come down pit road while most of the rest of the leaders would stay out. But because of that caution, they would keep it under caution. And coming off the final corner, William Byron would win stage 1. All the cars that basically stayed out, guys like William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, among others, they decided to stay coming down pit road, while the drivers that pitted decided to stay out. A couple drivers ended up going over the wall. Unfortunately, they would have issues. Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, Cole Custer would all get penalties, and they would have to go to the rear on that restart. We would on the restart, we have Martin Truex Jr. on the inside with Austin Cinder behind him as well. And so I believe Michael McDowell was on the outside on that restart. Martin Truex Jr. would get a really, really awesome restart, but Austin Cinder made an incredible 3-wide move, and he was able to get the race lead. But a few laps later, Matt DiBenedetto, who was really, really showing a ton of speed today, was able to get around Austin Cindric and take the race lead. Then Denny Hamlin, a few laps later, he would go off into the gravel, and he would basically get into the grass against the edge, but he kept going, but he would have more brake fade and basically would lose a lot of his brake issues, would have a lot more brake issues throughout this race as well. Then a few laps later, Brad Keselowski would spin off at turn number 14, going into the final corner. He had some issues with Michael McDowell. In the first corner, he basically put Michael McDowell off the track, but he would keep going, and then Brad Keselowski, really no contact. I thought there had been some temper flaring between Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, and Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski just overdrove the corner right there. And then basically, Austin Cindric made a very, very awesome move, outbraked him into turn number 4. And then Austin Cindric, unfortunately, this is where Austin Cindric's day, unfortunately, would come to an end. Austin Cindric would have a mechanical issue. He overdrove the corner going into turn number 7, overcooked it, and then the car had a broken gear issue, and unfortunately would have to take it to the garage. It's really, really unfortunate. He had Corey LaJoie issues, which is unfortunate to see because Austin Cindric, I think, had a really good shot of contending for the victory in this race, but never really got that chance. It really never got that opportunity to contend for the win because of that, and this took him out of contention in this race to go for the victory. And then a lot of the leaders all decided to come down pit road for the strategy, of course. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, among others. They would all come down pit road for the strategy, of course. And then Kyle Busch and Martrich Jr., the two up front, they would have to come down pit road. Unfortunately, Martrich Jr. was up front at the time. He unfortunately got a speeding penalty, and when he would not score any points, it would have to go to the rear on the start. And then we would keep going. Kurt Busch would go off track a little bit. But coming off the corner at the end of stage number 2, Tyler Reddick would win stage number 2 here at Road America. And then all the cars that did not pit under that would go back. And on the restart, you have Kyle Busch on the inside with Chase Elliott on the outside. And Matty D would get under Chase Elliott to pass him there. But Chase Elliott was able to eventually get up to the front. And Chase Elliott would end up passing Kyle Busch for second. And then a few laps later was able to get around Matt DiBenedetto, who basically had used his tires at this point. He was able to get around Matt DiBenedetto and was able to basically take off and run with it. With around 20 laps to go in this race, a couple guys actually had to come down here. Ryan Blaney, who had some damage, but with around 20 laps to go, we thought this was going to be a big game changer event with around 19 to go. Anthony Alfredo would lose, I believe, had a tire go down or something like that, and a brake rotor would fail as well, and he would drive way into the gravel trap and would bring out the final caution of this race with around 19 laps to go. A couple cars basically stayed out who got pitted, Eric Almirola and Ryan Blaney. They would stay out while pretty much everybody else decided to come down pit road. So you had Eric Almirola on the inside, and you had Ryan Blaney on the outside. And on that ensuing restart, Eric Almirola had the race lead, but Kyle Busch made a really, really good move. And then eventually you would have more issues that basically would take place where Chase Elliott actually got the lead at that point. But you would have issues where William Byron, who basically was trying to drive his way back up to the front, he unfortunately would go have an off-track excursion in turn 5, and this unfortunately would take him out of contention. So I thought William Byron was going to be a contender at the end of this race, but because it's off-track excursion, this took him off contention. And we started to see some cars coming to the front. Drivers like Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell was kind of quiet most of the day, was starting to make a lot of noise late in this race, and Kyle Larson started fading. And then with 6 laps to go, a big moment happened in this race. Alex Bowman, unfortunately, would go way too deep in the corner. He's apparently he lost the brakes. He apologized to Kyle Larson, but he drove into Kyle Larson and spun him. Now, in my honest opinion, I was a little frustrated at the time with Alex Bowman, but at the same time, it is his teammate, and it was unintentional when he did it. I saw a lot of people basically calling Alex Bowman untalented. I don't think Alex Bowman is untalented. Alex Bowman was up there, and he was contending for a very, very strong finish. So Alex Bowman is not untalented. He just made a really, really big mistake that unfortunately not only cost him a chance to go for a really strong run, but also cost Kyle Larson a chance to go out and get at least potentially a 4th or 5th place finish. Again, Alex Bowman did apologize to him, and they were basically all on good terms now, which is really, really, it seemed, because their teammates, they both have really, really had good years. Didn't have wins. I think there'd be a lot more frustration from Kyle Larson, but there's really nothing you can do there. It sucks for Kyle Larson. It seems like he's kind of had some bad luck come his way in the last weeks. Hopefully that bad luck can kind of turn in the right direction, but unfortunately Larson would get a lot of damage. Alex Bowman would have to come down here with a tire where we thought that the caution was come out, so a couple guys, they decided to come down here. Allmendinger, McDowell, and Kevin Harvick would all come down here hoping for the caution to come out in that situation, which is crazy to see. And then we keep going racing and coming off, and basically Chase Elliott had like a 5 or 6 second lead. Christopher Bell had made the pass on Kyle Busch. He was starting to really, really catch Chase Elliott at this point, but Chase Elliott had gotten too far out of the way, and coming out the final corner, Chase Elliott puts up a dominating final stage, and he picks up his 2nd win of 2021, gets Hendrick's 10th win of the 2021 season, their first time they've done that since 2014, and picks up his 7th road course victory, now becoming the 3rd driver on the all-time road course list. Let's be honest, Chase Elliott, I think probably had the best car most of the day. I'm just going to be honest with you. Yes, he didn't lead a majority of laps. I think he ended up leading the most laps at the end of the race. But let's be for real. Chase Elliott had to start at the rear of the field, unfortunately, because of the qualifying situation early race for Bubba Wallace transmission use. Same with Chase Briscoe. And I think if that did not happen, I think Chase Elliott would have just ran off into the sunset, just ran away. And I think, honestly, he would have been able to just pull away there. So in a second here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the results here from Road America. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results from today's race. Chase Elliott wins today's race here at Road America. Congratulations, Chase Elliott, on winning today's race. Christopher Bell finished 2nd. Very, very surprising run for Christopher Bell. I know he's really, really good at road course. I thought he's probably going to run around top 5, the top 10 range, but a very, very strong run for Christopher Bell. He really needed this run, considering Christopher Bell's kind of been on a downward trend coming into this weekend. Really had a lot of bad weeks. I think this definitely is a really big bounce back week for Christopher Bell, and hopefully this is when the momentum really starts turning around for him. Kyle Busch runs 3rd. Kyle Busch had a very strong car. Majority of data strategy definitely did help him early in the run, but he gets a very strong top 5 finish and backs up a great race last weekend at Pocono. Great to see that for sure. Kurt Busch finishes 4th. Great run for Kurt Busch today. It's good to see Kurt Busch get a top 5. Going to help him overall in the points for sure. Has had a lot of momentum over the last 2 weeks. Denny Hamlin finishes 5th. Again, Denny Hamlin retains the regular season points lead. Denny Hamlin is, by the way, very, very close to basically locking himself into the next round. And Great to see for sure that Denny Hamlin gets in our top 5. Chase Briscoe finished 6th. Chase Briscoe, in my opinion, really had the most impressive run throughout the day. Ran top 10 a lot of the race. Gets a very solid 6th place finish, and definitely best run he's had so far in the 2021 season. And great to see an SHR car finishing in the top 10. Ross Chastain finished 7th. Great run for Ross Chastain today. Ran top 10 a lot of the day and gets 7th place finish. Great run for him. Tyler Reddick finished his 8th. Saw a run from overall. Mark Truex Jr. finished 9th. I'm getting a little worried about Mark Truex Jr. I know he had a speeding penalty. But, man, Mark Truex Jr., man, I think that, I know he's got 3 wins here, but he's really not had a lot of good weeks, and I got to start seeing a little bit more of Mark Truex Jr., especially on road courses where he's really good. If he's kind of struggling on road courses to really do a lot of things, I'm going to be a little more worried down the road. Matt DiBenedetto finishes 10th, and Matt DiBenedetto, he was really, really good. Unfortunately, he used his tires up way, way too much, and that, unfortunately, is what kind of cost him an opportunity to go out for the win, but a very solid top 10 run. First top 10 he's had in quite some time, so great to see you get a top 10 in today's race. Austin Dillon finished his 11th, solid run for him, considering that he's not really great at road courses. He gets top 15, not too bad. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes 12th. Brad Keselowski finished 13th. Brad Keselowski was nowhere near the front most of the day. Gets 13th place finish, runs top 50, considering he ran 25th to 30th for majority of the day. He finishes 13th in today's race. Eric Almirola finishes 14th. Logano finishes 15th today. Not a bad run for Joey Logano, considering he's not always the greatest at road courses. He finishes 15th. Kyle Larson, after his issues late at Road America, he finishes 16th in today's race. Cole Custer finishes 17th. Chris Buescher 18th. 19th place finisher Eric Jones. Not a bad run for the RPM car. And Ryan Blaney finishes 20th. Corey LaJoie finishes in 21st. Alex Owen finishes 22nd after the damage. 23rd place finished Josh Bliggett. That's not bad for a Rick Racing car. Finished 23rd. Not a bad run overall for him. Bubba Wallace finished 24th. Is anybody surprised that Bubba did not run good at a road course? Let's be honest, I expected Bubba to kind of struggle at a road course, and guess what? I'm not surprised. He finished 24th in today's race. Justin Elliott finishes 25th. Ty Dillon finishes 26th. 27th place finisher Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick did not run good at all today. 20th place finisher James Davison. 29th place finisher AJ Allmendinger. I'm going to be honest, I expected AJ to run a hell of a lot better today. Most disappointing driver here in 2000 was I thought he was going to run a lot better than he did, and he finished 29th. Yeah, he really never had a good day. Pit crew was not very good, and he had a lot of issues, and not a good run for him today. Michael McDowell finished 30th after his damage early in the race. Cody Ware finished 31st. Ryan Newman finishes 32nd. William Byron, after his off-track excursion, finishes 33rd. Quinn Howe finishes 34th. Kyle Tilley finishes 35th. Daniel Suarez finished 36th after his issues. 37th place finisher Anthony Alfredo. 38th place finisher Austin Cindric after his issues. Ryan Eversley finishes 39th, and finishing last year in 40th place is going to be Ryan Preece. So let's go ahead and talk about the race overall. You know, usually these road course races are either hit or miss, or they're usually really, really good. I think this race was somewhat in the middle, in my honest opinion. There was a lot of really memorable moments. You had a lot of good battles to the lead, especially Stage 2. I thought Stage 2 was really, really, really good. You had a lot of great battles at points. You had Austin Cindric and Kyle Busch battling, Matty D and Austin Cindric battling. Stage 2 was one of the most memorable parts, in my opinion. You saw so much in really good racing throughout the pack. I think once we got to the second half of the race, so I think the race kind of got a little bit to be honest with you. There was definitely good racing through the pack, but Chase Elliott had a big lead, but Chase Elliott, I think, earned the win overall. So my honest opinion overall, looking at Road America, I'm going to give today's race at Road America overall a 7, actually an 8 out of 10. Like I said, the first half of the race was really, really good. I think the second half of the race, once Chase got the lead, kind of got a little more dull than normal, but hey, that does happen. It's a national NASCAR race, and I have to say that for the first at Road America race in a long time, for the first race at Road America, we definitely should come back here next year. I'm going to give today's race here at Road America an 8 out of 10. So, anyway, that is going to be today's Cup race review from Road America. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, support page as well. Links below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's race here at Road America. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know in the comments below. Congratulate Chase Elliott on winning his second race of 2021. And let me know your scores below in the comments below. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a massive catch-up episode from everything over the weekend and from this past week, where we'll talk about all the NASCARs from all the way back to past Wednesday, all the way up to now. That'll be up tomorrow morning or a little bit early in the afternoon. Check on my channel for that coming up here really, really soon. But anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content. Take care, everybody.